On a cold day in February 12th, 2011, 10 college kids went on what they thought would be an exciting cave adventure. Instead, it turned into a nightmare that killed 2 young people. This is the fatal story of Grant, Lockenbach, and Michael Pirie, and their horrific caving accident in Ellison's cave. Our story starts with 10 students from the University of Florida, 5 guys and 5 girls, looking for excitement and a chance to explore one of the toughest caves in America. The main people in this group were 2 close friends, 20-year-old Grant Lockenbach and Michael Pirie. Grant, who had planned the trip, was about to turn 21. He was studying sociology in his last year of college and was known for being smart and adventurous. Michael was also very accomplished and played in the university's marching band. Both guys loved extreme sports and outdoor activities, like rock climbing, skydiving, and exploring caves. The group wasn't totally new to caving. Grant, Michael, and a few others had been in caves before, including a successful trip just a few weeks earlier. This past experience probably made them feel confident as they planned their biggest caving adventure yet. Ellison's Cave, located in Walker County on Pigeon Mountain in Georgia, is not easy to explore. Cavers know it for being very deep and challenging. It's over 1,000 feet deep, making it the 12th deepest cave in the United States. But what really makes Ellison's Cave famous is its biggest feature, the Fantastic Pit. The Fantastic Pit is a straight drop that goes down 586 feet, making it the deepest open underground pit in the mainland of the United States. To help you imagine how deep that is, it's almost twice as tall as the Statue of Liberty. It's a feature that both excites and scares even experienced cavers. But the Fantastic Pit isn't the only challenge in Ellison's Cave. The cave system has lots of narrow passages, smaller pits, and areas that can flood. One of these is the warm-up pit, a 125-foot vertical drop that would play a big part in the tragedy that was about to happen. On February 11th, 2011, the group of 10 students left the University of Florida, driving over 400 miles to get to Georgia. They arrived in the afternoon and checked into a hotel near Pigeon Mountain, excited for their adventure the next day. The next morning, on February 12th, the students woke up early, full of excitement. They packed their caving gear, helmets, headlamps, ropes, and harnesses into their cars. They made a big mistake by leaving their cell phones behind, probably to keep them safe from the damp cave environment. As they started hiking up Pigeon Mountain, they noticed the first signs of trouble. The temperature was dropping fast, and it was getting really cold. Despite this, none of the students were dressed for very cold weather. Grant and Michael, like the others, only wore casual clothes, shorts and t-shirts. This choice would soon have terrible consequences. After hiking for an hour, the group reached one of the cave's entrances. They found the narrow, jagged opening that they had to squeeze through one at a time. As they entered the cave, it was completely dark, except for the light from their headlamps. The beauty of the cave was amazing, but the biting cold was a constant worry. The group planned to explore only a small part of the cave system, knowing about the tough conditions, and they weren't fully prepared yet. But things didn't go as planned. As they were finishing up their exploration, something had happened. Something bad happened. One of the students accidentally dropped their backpack into the warm pit, a 125-foot deep hole known for being very cold because of a loud waterfall nearby. The backpack had important gear that the group couldn't afford to lose, even though it was obviously dangerous. Grant, as the leader of the trip, said that he would go in and get it. His friends tried to stop him, feeling it was too risky, but Grant was sure that he could do it and insisted on going down. Using a rope and harness, Grant started to lower himself into the pit. It got colder as he went down, and the waterfall got louder. Halfway down, something went wrong. Grant's equipment stopped working, leaving him stuck and getting splashed by the freezing water from the waterfall. Grant started to panic when he realized how bad his situation was. He began to shout for help, but his friends could barely hear him over the loud water. His friends above, hearing that he was in trouble, faced a scary decision. Without thinking twice, Michael Pirie stepped up to save his friend. Using the same rope, he started going down into the pit, shouting encouragement to Grant. When Michael reached Grant, he found him in a really bad shape. Confused, shaking uncontrollably, and having trouble moving. As Michael tried to free Grant, another bad thing happened. Michael's own equipment got tangled in the rope, leaving both young men trapped in the freezing pit. The situation had gone from bad to worse in just a few minutes. The 8 students left above now faced a nightmare. 2 of their friends were trapped in a freezing pit, getting soaked with cold water and quickly getting colder. They split into 2 groups. Some stayed at the edge of the pit, trying to talk to Grant and Micheal, while others ran out of the cave to get help. Those who stayed by the pit did their best to keep Grant and Micheal awake and hopeful. They shouted encouraging words, prayed, and told their friends that help was coming. But as time passed, the voices from below got quieter and harder to understand. The students who left the cave had their own challenges. They had to climb down the difficult Pigeon Mountain, racing to reach their cars and phones. It was 2:19 p.m. when they finally managed to call for help, starting a complex rescue operation. Back in the cave, things were getting worse quickly. The cold was draining Grant and Michael's energy very fast. Their breathing and hearts were failing under the extreme stress. About 30 minutes after Micheal went down to help Grant, their voices went silent, leaving their friends above in terrible worry. The county's cave and cliff rescue team arrived, bringing hope to the upset students. While some rescuers helped the 8 cold students, others immediately started going down in the warm pit. Others immediately started going down into the warm up pit. At 3:30 p.m., the rescuers reached Grant and Micheal. The sad truth became clear. Even though they responded quickly, they were too late. Both young men had died from the extreme cold, their bodies still hanging from the rope that had trapped them. The rescuers now faced the hard task of bringing the bodies up. The same problems that had trapped Grant and Micheal now made the rescue difficult. It took 6 long, hard hours of careful work before they were finally able to bring Grant and Michael's body to the surface around 10 p.m. The tragedy shocked the University of Florida community and cavers everywhere. The loss of 2 bright, promising young lives was deeply felt by all who knew them. The Grant Lockenbach Memorial Fund was set up to give scholarships through the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. This ensures that Grant's love for both academics and sports continues to inspire future students. Micheal Pirie's brave actions were recognized. He was given the Carnegie Medal for the Carnegie Hero Fund Commission after his death, honoring his selflessness attempt to save his friend. Also, the University of Florida's Department of Fine Arts created the Micheal Pirie Memorial Scholarship Fund. This scholarship goes to students in the Gator Marching Band who show Michael's good qualities: strong character, generosity, enthusiasm, and dedication. The Ellison's cave tragedy reminds us of the dangers of caving and how important it is to be properly prepared. Several key things led to this disaster. The students were only in shorts and t-shirts, which was not warm enough for the cold cave. While some of the group had been caving before, they weren't ready for the challenges of a complex cave like Ellison's cave. Choosing to try a risky rescue instead of immediately getting professional help turned out to be fatal. Their gear failing at critical moments shows the importance of using good, well-maintained equipment. Leaving their phones behind delayed the call for help, possibly costing crucial minutes or even hours. The caving community and rescue organizations have since used this incident to stress the need for thorough safety rules, proper training, and respect for the unpredictable nature of caves. This fatal accident might have been prevented with a few crucial changes. What if they had dressed appropriately for the cold cave environment? Or if they had brought communication devices into the cave? What if they had immediately sought professional help instead of attempting a risky rescue? These questions remind us that in adventure, as in life, small decisions can have profound consequences. If you found this story impactful and want to learn more about survival stories and the lessons they teach us, please consider subscribing to our channel. Just click the subscribe button below. And if you want to hear more stories like this one, stories that explore the depths of human endurance and